Hello everyone, this is Fray bringing you a new audio. This, like I said, is going to be a Ghouls vs. Orc game. I did cover that briefly with the FOV game against, I forget who it was up against, but it was a Lost Temple game, which Lost Temple is kind of a weird map because it's severely imbalanced against the undead. And you also have to, for max mobility, you have to do something like go for gargoyles, which is what FOB did. Going gargoyles is pretty scary because, you know, even though there's some tricks that you can do, bats are a major problem for them. Okay, that's plenty long enough introduction, so hopefully you guys have got this paused at the 2-minute mark, and I'm getting it started in 3, 2, 1, unpause. That'd be the 2-minute mark, Fix's base with the Fog of War on. Fix used the fastest possible altar build. I think either Altar Zig, which is the fastest, or Crypt Altar will work just fine for going against an Orc player. I actually use Crypt first, then Altar, but it really doesn't matter. What he's going for here, though, is he's going to try and spot the Farseer, and he's going to use his Death Knight and his Acolyte, his Scouting Acolyte, to try and spot where the Farseer is going to creep. Now, what CR is doing is he's running around with this Farseer, kind of trying to give Fix the slip, so that he can creep an easy camp in peace. And generally that's going to be pretty successful for the Orc player. The whole point here, though, is just to delay the Farseer, because you don't want that mofo getting level 3. Level 3 Farseer is absolutely hell on your Acolytes, because he can send the wolves around the back and kill your Acolytes with them. Even, a Frost Tower sometimes isn't enough to handle that. Plus, level 2 wolves are murder on your Ghouls. You're going to find your Ghouls are going to die. Even if you have good ping, your Ghouls are going to start dying before you can coil them. So, allowing Farseer to get level 3 is generally a huge mistake in the early game. You really need to be able to delay him from getting level 3 pretty much until after you've hit like tier 2 and everything. So what you have to do, because you can't creep very fast in the early game also, you've really got to spend the first couple minutes with like just your Death Knight harassing the Farseer to keep him from hitting level 3 too quickly. As long as you keep him to just like 1 or 2 green camps during that time, preferably like 1, like CR has just managed to fix creep his very first green camp just now. As long as you keep him down to that. Actually, I don't think he crept much of anything. Doesn't matter. Just like keep him to like 1 or 2 green camps and keep the Farseer at level 2 or even level 1. Okay, so once you hit the second phase, when you're going to leave the Farseer alone and go creep yourself, you need to get level 2 on your Death Knight, because in order to do any kind of surrounding effectively with your Ghouls, you're going to have Unholy, aka Broken Aura. And so, do that as quickly as possible. The timing on that is usually after you've started your tier 2 tech, and like when you have about 300 gold, or 300 lumber, that's the time to pull your Ghouls off. Now what he's going to do is, once you got level 2, you're going to head pretty much straight for the Orc base. Usually most Orcs are going to hit tier 2 around 5 dots into the first night. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But right now we got a battle going on, which you see Fix doing. He is not going to attack at all. He is going straight for the surrounds. The fortunate thing about this is that whenever you're going for surrounds, the best thing that the Orc player is going to get on you is a few swipes on your Ghouls. He just missed a surround there because he was trying to move his Death Knight out of the way. And here's one thing to do. Sometimes you're going to miss surrounds. It just happens. Once you see that a surround has not worked, you need to move your Ghouls out of the way and go try and get yourself another surround. Don't start swiping at that unit, especially just out of frustration or something. Successful bestiary cancel here. Don't lose too many Ghouls trying to cancel bestiaries. In fact, I think Fix has managed to do this so far without losing a single Ghoul. One of those was a slight mistake by CR. He only needed one more hit on one of them with his Farseer, and he could have gotten the kill. Not a big deal. Ultimately, this matchup is a little bit in favor of the Orc player, and so you're going to have to get the occasional gimme like that in order to win. You know, assuming your opponent doesn't make any major mistakes. But your opponent's probably going to have to make like one more mistake than you do. If both players play like pretty much perfectly, I think this is pretty well in the Orc player's favor. Okay, so at this point, Fix has basically been chased off by the Farseer's army. However, the other one of the things that's going to happen, Tier 2 is just like party time for the Orc player, which is why you want to try and delay him as much as possible with bestiary cancels and things like that. Knowing that the Orc player at this point is going to try and creep his Tauren Chieftain, Fix sends his Death Knight over to the left. He had sent a skeleton up at the top so that he could see that the Tauren Chieftain didn't go that way, so he managed to spot where the Chief is trying to creep here, and he's just going to do the same deal of slowing him down for as long as humanly possible. When you're going Ghouls, the Tauren Chieftain is a huge freaking problem. In fact, in the late game, you often end up having to make a third hero choice just to keep the bastard under control. And the reason for that is Stomp. Stomp has a ridiculously short cooldown and a ridiculously long stun time, which results in your Ghouls, which normally do an insane amount of damage, not doing a whole lot of damage at all. One of the things that I should have mentioned a long time ago is once you hit Tier 2, when you're going for the Ghoul strategy, you want to head to Tier 3 like as fast as humanly possible. This pretty much applies to any Ghoul-based strategy because Frenzy is really the sort of a holy grail here that you're chasing. So just go ahead and grab Ghoul Frenzy as quickly as possible, and to do that you want to start your Tier 3 as fast as you can, like even before you start your Lich or anything like that. One of the nice things Fix did here was he kind of started, look at his position against these creeps. He's kind of to the south of him, and to the north is where his opponent is likely to come from if he were to be like creep-jacked while he was doing this. So he's really pretty safe here from, you know, at least if his opponent comes, he's going to have to get through the creeps to get to Fix's army. Now, I think CR just managed to steal a couple of Ghoul kills there with his Farseer. That sucks, but that sort of thing happens. Okay, a couple things that all that's going to happen here for a little while is Fix is going to go creep the Lich up to level 3 and also get 3 on his Death Knight. This is almost a little bit risky. I might have, if it had been up to me here, I probably would have just, not that I'm just better player than Fix. I mean, this guy, all these players are way the hell better than Fray, so chances are you should give them the benefit of the doubt and not me. Scourge of Bone Chime's extremely nice drop. That's one of the things to watch out for if you're going for Ghouls. Check the points on the map. Like, you can pull it up in the map editor. Admittedly, I'm not hardcore enough to do this, but if you really want to get that extra edge, find where Scourged Bone Chimes are dropped, because that's basically, I think, a level 1 vampiric aura. And we all know that rocks with Ghouls. So if you can manage to get one of those to drop, you know, that would make creeping that camp a pretty high priority. At this point, instead of creeping out an Expo like Fix is doing, I probably would have gone and tried to find the Orc player's expansion here. He did send like an Acolyte to scout the natural to the lower left of CR's base, and he wasn't expanding there, but he is expanding, in fact, at the one at the top. So it would have been really nice to find that as early as possible. Things will still turn out okay. I hate to spoil that for you, but okay, battle going on here. This is Frenzied Ghouls. What you want to do generally is just kind of let the Ghouls fight. You don't really have to be too careful about what you're letting them hit. You just want them to deal damage. I think, however, he went for a surround of the Tauren Chieftain, possibly because the Ghouls just ended up there, or possibly because he was trying to get CR to go away. But what CR is doing here is a little bit different. What really the most, I think, common sense Orc response to a Ghoul build is to start massing Wyverns as quickly as possible, because Wyverns are pretty nasty against Ghouls. However,
Ghoul Fiend is actually like really freaking strong against wyverns. In fact, like I've seen a lot of games where the undead player had